Well, good morning. I'm Jim McGinnis, sitting back here in the backyard. Um, there was something I wanted to share with you that I wanted to give it a second go. It's called the paragraph. I thought it would be something worth sharing. The other night, I stumbled upon an excerpt of sorts while searching for a quote. I was scrolling through um, the social media, and uh, this thing kept me awake for hours. Um, One paragraph really tripped my trigger. Um, the author had made a list of things they don't teach you in school. He said that school doesn't teach you how to love somebody, or to walk away from someone you don't love any longer, or how to know what's going on in someone else's mind. Please let me know if you got an answer for that one. Or what to say to someone who's dying. They don't teach you anything worth knowing. No. Now that put a whole lot on my plate for late at night, especially. And I just sat there for a while, and then I began thumbing backward through some pages of something I had written until I found what I was looking for, and then I fell asleep in my chair. When I awoke a few hours later, I still had that paragraph stuck in my head. I couldn't shake it. And I was troubled by the writer's choice to blame his social struggles, in or out of context, on school. You know, the place which for some is their only hope of discovering a thread of existence between themselves and other humans, or at least the first chance. Um, I know that so many of us have had difficult experiences in school. Um, and I know many others who have found it to be their saving grace. Perhaps the author's list, um, had a shred or two of truth. School offers no instruction manual on how to love. I'm not sure it should. School may well be guilty of sometimes hunting down spontaneity and killing it, but it can give us hints of what love is, um, how it manifests itself in 100,000 ways. School can teach us the truth and power of love by showing us in 1,000 stories, um, comedies and tragedies, and through 1,000 more examples of greater fools who drive to work each day with an intensity of commitment and attention. I can't help but hear the Allman Brothers here. Love is everywhere. If you discover these things, I'm thinking you can figure out the rest on your own. The how part will take care of itself. Now, my search through my words had brought me to a verse about halfway down page 80. Um, Now, a little background. I have spent years exploring the nature of freedom. Sometimes I stand right in the slop, I know. But I finally discovered, um, and nothing profound, but in its purest sense, liberty is driven by love. Um, the realization, for me at least, came from books and songs and preachers and priests and nuns, and dogs and grandchildren. Of course, I learned much from my companion, my significant other, my family, my friends, in school, from coaches and teachers, from strange kids who slowly became familiar by spending hundreds of days in my classroom with me, some of whom gave as much as they took. Now, this is that verse. It's from Love and Freedom. What is love? Well, I think I know. Surely it's an overflow of passion and emotion, an electric touch. But it's not just a falling of head over heels. Love is a commitment to causes, a dedication to ideals. Inside us flows a spring fed by the giving of oneself to someone or to a certain thing. Love, said Auden, is about paying attention. How about that? It's the nurturing of friendships and kinships and the modesty of intention. Great sacrifice and the satisfaction that comes with that which we give up fills and spills our blessing cup. Now, school is rife with challenges and shortcomings. Cookie-cutter reforms can result in the creation of all things unremarkable, unexceptional. Responses to political pressures have given us spoon-feeding approaches to education that essentially lower our expectations. Teachers and students alike have stood upon their desk and challenged these things for decades. But one thing that school does not teach us is weakness. Weakness comes from the world outside of school, from readers and writers of such paragraphs, I would say. School gives us a sad, clear eye on the lies of the grown-up world. A world that claims to care for the protection and the nurturing of the innocent, granting refuge in cages, surrounded by the threats and dangers created by those obsessed with their own vulnerability. In school, we learn the countless disguises of fear and the granite hardness of reality. And despite the beigeness of institutionalized compassion and the madness of accountability and structure, school can teach many things worth knowing. Most importantly, love. It does not lose its way in the politics of politics. And if in fact we're able to discover that the end of our education is but the beginning of our learning, well then, we're onto something. The best lesson of learning is learning how to learn. Amen. So I reject that paragraph and its claims. Happily. In a note to my grandson, I quoted an old priest who said, "Love is the overflowing effervescence of being, a bubbling up." How about that? It is the willful and selfless, yet sometimes it comes to our hearts without permission. What to do? My friend Dave calls it mud. Jump in the mud of love. I like that. It takes courage to love, to immerse yourself, to open yourself to it. Love is proof that our souls and spirits go on somewhere. I'm betting somewhere close. That's all the immortality I can hope for. I'm figuring love isn't something. It's the only thing. And my love for you guarantees we'll meet again. And I'm good with that. I hope you are too. Fair winds.